Okay. Okay. I am live. Hello. I don't know if I have anybody on. I think I have someone on here with me. Um, I am live for this new moon in Aries. I'm just gonna take a minute to get myself situated before I start talking. So please just bear with me. Mhm. Okay, I have to be organized here because if I'm not organized, then I'm just going to be a hot mess through all of this, and we don't want that. So bear with me one moment. Um, I'm excited actually for this new moon, um, and the content that I have for everyone who joins me live. And if you don't join me live, that's okay because this new moon is peaking tomorrow morning, and the energy of the new moon will be well into Saturday. So you've got time to watch and set your intentions. Okay, let me open this up here. Okay, I think I'm organized. I have my chat here. Let me just see. I minimize that. I'm gonna leave that up. Okay, see where I'm at. Okay. I have my chat up, so please do um, use the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I should have my audio, make sure that everything, yeah, my audio is on. Um, and if you have any questions along the way, please do go to the chat. I will check the chat periodically, but I do have quite a bit of info that I want to cover today. My name is Tracy Leela, spiritual medium and astrologer. And I really wanted to come here to talk about this new moon in Aries. There's a lot of planets transiting the zodiac sign of Aries. And I do intend to be here every month for the new moon to do some candle ceremonies. I'm big on um, setting intentions with candles and herbs. I'm a Virgo stellium, so I love my herbs. I love my candles. And I am a new moon born baby. I was born on a new moon. So I just love the new moon energy. It is. Well, I'm going to talk about it. There's 7 things that I want to cover in this live, and I'm hoping it won't take too long. But I also am constantly, I've got Mars in my first house, so I constantly have to work on slowing myself down because I can go too fast. And it's conjunct my Mercury, so I can talk really fast. So I'm going to try to slow it down, but not be too slow. But I want to talk about this new moon energy. I'm going to be lighting my candle. If you follow me on Instagram, if you've been following my shorts here on YouTube, I was encouraging you to grab your own candle and get some herbs and set your own candle up. And Katina, I'm going to show you. And this is my candle. Oh, where am I? So there's the herbs inside with the bay leaf around it. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But I want to light it together. So if you don't have your candle yet, that's okay. You can go get your candle ready and then come back to this in, later tonight or tomorrow. And then you can light your candle with me then. It will be live, it will be recorded and posted on my page. So we're going to do that. I'm going to share with you a workshop that has been in refinement and in the work since it's been about 10 years, since 2016 is when I really knew that I felt this deep in my soul that there was something important that I needed to do. It does feel a lot bigger than my me. It's a bit overwhelming, but I've had to take time with spirit to really uh, heal myself and go through my own experiences so I can really understand the process to help other people through this workshop. So it's a soul attunement workshop. I'm going to share info about that. I have a great offer as I get ready to launch it out there. This is like a pre-launch. So I'm excited to share that with you. And then we're going to get into it. I want to talk about the astrology of the Aries transits along with the decans of Aries. There's three decans to each zodiac sign, and it just gives so much more information. And this new moon seeding point really does stem from the other planets that have recently moved into and orbited into Aries. And it's all connected. It is an unfolding story of our lives. And I want to talk about the transits and the decans and how they relate. I'm going to pull up and show you the tarot that is associated with the decans and how it all fits together with this new moon and in setting the intentions with this new moon, with all this energy that we've all been feeling in different ways. I'm going to talk about the numerology of number one. Aries is the Aries, I can feel spirit with me. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. It is the first zodiac sign. It is the ignition point. It is the baby of the zodiac. Um, and is the number one. Number one is very fitting with Aries energy in just the what number one represents is so deeply correlated with the energy of Aries, with the characteristics of the physical being here. And so we're going to talk about that. I also want to talk about the numerology. I'm going to talk about each different number as I come live with each new moon that's going to be in a different zodiac sign. We're going to talk about different numbers. And this is important because this is a way that spirit communicates with us. Um, it's part of a guidance, a way that your team and your soul self can guide you is through the synchronicity of numbers, through seeing numbers. And oftentimes people are just going to Google, what does that number mean? And I feel like it's just so much better if you really understand what each number in numerology really represents, and then tune in to the moments, the exact moment that you get those synchronistic hits, the repeated numbers, the messages with numbers, wherever it is, in the moment, you get it. You know it's meant for you. You know it's special. What were you thinking in that moment? What were you feeling in that moment? And when you understand what that number represents, you can start to use your intuition, connect with your soul. This is what I want to help people to do, is to tap in and tune into your own intuition. We all have a guidance system. We all have a team. And your soul self is begging for you to just get through that ego and connect with it. And so this is part of the soul attunement workshop that I have that I'm going to share with you. But knowing the numerology of the understanding what each number represents and what it means in numerology, um, you're going to start to get used to just tuning into those numbers, understanding it and trusting what your intuition tells you that guidance is in the moment that you see those numbers. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about numerology of number one. I have 5 intentions for this new moon. This is my list that I want to offer to you. Just really when I sit and think about the Aries energy, when I think about the different decans, when I think about where this new moon is by degree, it's at 27 degrees Aries. Um, and what would be fitting for the energy that is reflective that we're experiencing to really set some solid intentions. Intentions is everything. All of creation is based on the power of intention. And so this is why we've got the candle ceremony with setting intentions with herbs and the candles. Everything is significant and it's very symbolic. And then I have at the end some rising sign horoscopes. I'm just going to go through each rising sign and where Aries falls for you in your chart. And so I really encourage you to pull your chart. I work with evolutionary astrology and combined with Hellenistic traditional astrology. I started off learning the foundations of astrology with Hellenistic. And I'm really thankful that I did that. I'm really thankful that I went to the traditional source of astrology and really learned the foundational elements. And then I discovered evolutionary astrology. And it took my readings, it took my understanding, it took it expanded my connection with spirit, with the oracle of the chart, and really tuning in and tapping into our soul's essence within the chart and the evolutionary process that can be explored within a natal chart. Even going back to past lives into this lifetime, and then also with your soul chart. It's phenomenal. You cannot deny the reflective energy and the correlation that is as above, so below that we experience through astrology. So um, that's where I come from. And I want to encourage you to grab your chart. You can go to astro.com. You can go to astroseek.com. There's a dash in between astro-seek.com. You can access your chart for free. You do need to know your time of birth to know your rising sign. I will only do rising sign horoscopes because it is the most accurate. Um, I'm not going to put my opinions of sun sign astrology, but it doesn't make sense to me. That's all I'm going to say. Rising signs, based on your rising sign, I work with whole sign houses, and so the correlation to the zodiac based on your rising sign is going to be incredibly accurate to the experiences that you're experiencing right now. And where Aries falls in your chart will be those topics of life for you. For an example, I am a Libra rising, so Aries falls in my seventh house. And so the Aries energy for me is really experienced and felt by reflection through relationships, but personal, interpersonal relationships, committed relationships, marriage, um, business relationships. It's really just any one-on-one personal relationship that you have with somebody is experienced through the seventh house and open enemies, and there's some other, but yeah, so it's a topic. So this is talking to those of you who are super beginners. If you already know this stuff, then um, just bear with me. Just checking the chat here. I just want to check my make sure that the connection's still good. Yeah, it's still good. Okay, perfect. Good, good, good. Again, so please do put your comments, questions in the chat. I will be checking. Um, okay, I want to encourage you before we move forward. I'm going to start talking about the new moon energy and just give like a brief overview of what new moon energy is and how we can co-create with it. I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Your engagement on YouTube channels as this is a fairly new channel that I'm looking to grow and to help people through healing through astrology, and also to show my work as an evidential medium. But it's the support of subscribers that really does help my channel to grow. And as I always say, as my channel grows, I'm able to reach more people who are in need of guidance, some soul guidance. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the new moon for a moment, and the energy of the new moon. The new moon marks a new cycle. It is a new beginning. It is a seeding point. The moon is dark. As I said, I was born on a new moon, and I just love this energy. And it's a quiet space. It's not an active space. It's an intuitive space. That's why the moon is all dark. You cannot see the moon on a new moon. It is reflective. It is inward. It is peaceful. And you really have to trust everything that you're receiving from the moon. And it gives you an opportunity to co-create, because when you're in that dark, intuitive space, you are connected with your soul. You are connected with spirit. You're connecting with the beginnings of um, of fruition that happens at the full moon. This is the point of seeding. When you take a seed and you put it in the soil, it has to go into the soil, into the dark, and you don't see anything. You don't see no growth. You don't see a sprout. You see nothing. It's just a seed in the dark space. You're planting it. You're intending for that seed, for that plant to grow and flourish. And by the full moon, you should have some harvest that you can look at, that you can observe, that you can reflect on again. And so this is the new moon energy. And so this is where we have an opportunity to co-create with the new moon energy every single month. Every month, the new moon will be in a different sign, but it takes 6 months for the seeding to the full moon to happen in the same sign that the new moon was. So in 6 months from now, we will have a full moon in Aries, and that will be the fruition point of this new moon that we're at now. Um, and then it goes through the cycle. So it's really just, I love the new moon. It's such a beautiful space. And this is why you'll see on my website, everything's dark. You'll see I like black, but I like white. I'm Libra rising. So it's like Libra's known Venus for black and white, but it's just that dark space. It's a place of solitude, of yeah, it's peaceful. So this is the energy of the new moon, um, and a space for setting intentions. Um, I see it as like the spark of magic. It's like you just really plant your seeds and you can spark that magic, because this is what we're going to be moving on to, is the candle ceremony. Um, I say ceremony because it seems like ceremonial as you just light the candle. But I want to encourage you again. If you don't have your candle yet, the new moon doesn't peak until 7:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So you've got time to get a candle together, to light it in your own time. Um, as I said, it's very symbolic. So I've got a candle here. It's kind of off white, but I didn't have a white one for tonight, but that's okay. And I have a bay leaf around it. The bay leaf is for protection is number one. Protection is very important for me when working with any spiritual tool, or any spiritual work, any spiritual intentions, anything. I'm always like protection, protection, protection. So the bay leaf has protection. I like to put the Dharma wheel on the inside of it, just to intend uh, Dharma energy, which basically means moving towards your purpose, moving in a way of kindness and compassion, in a healthy direction. It's good energy, it's healing energy, it's forward energy, and it's energy towards your purpose. And then I just sprinkle herbs. There's just different herbs that I put in that have different meanings. This one has eucalyptus leaf, and that is for the purification of energy and health, which is very correlated with Aries, which is of vitality, it's of the body, it's of the health, it's of just being pure as that starting point in the zodiac. I have lemongrass, which is to enhance clarity and focus. Which I think is what we really need with the Aries energy, is that clarity and that focus. I feel like it's already there with Aries energy. We'll talk about that when we get into the astrology talk. But Aries is very fast moving. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars doesn't necessarily think first. Mars just acts. I have Mars in my first house, so I'm very familiar with this. And then it fucks shit up, and then you're like, oh no, oh God. And then, yeah, it causes problems. So we need clarity. We need focus through this new moon of setting intentions. So lemongrass. Yarrow, I have in here for bravery and protection from wounds. And again, Aries is representation of courage and bravery. Because of Mars, right? This is Mars, this is Aries, this is bravery, courage to take action on your instincts. Um, and so with that fast moving acting energy, it can cause wounds because of just the intensity of Aries energy. So we want to have protection to help us to slow down. Red rose for love and positive affirmations and attraction. Um, an attraction in all kinds, attraction of love, of kindness, compassion. Um, and yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I have five different herbs. So this is my candle, and I'm gonna light it and I'm gonna let it burn as we talk about astrology. Okay, so I am going to share my screen and I'm going to, before we get started, I'm going to show you and walk you through briefly the Soul Attunement workshop that will be starting. I'm hoping to start it June 27th. Um, Hopefully I get a good response. We'll see, if we get a full, if I get a full class, full workshop. Okay, let me just share here. Just want to get this set up first. Oops, let me put my glasses on so I can see. Okay, here we go. This is what I want to share. It should work. We here? Okay. Yeah, it should be working. Okay. Um, you are sharing. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, great. So this is the Soul Attunement Workshop. I am so excited to share this with you guys. It's going to start Saturday, June 27th, and there's only going to be 10 spots available. Now, the reason why I'm limiting it to 10 spots is I personally need to work in small groups. I don't do well in big groups. I like small groups. I'm a 12th house person. I like small. And I also want to be able to connect with everybody that's in my workshop, and to be able to work and help everybody one on one with any questions. And so you can get the most out of the workshop. You have to know your time of birth. I'm going to be giving each person their natal chart, a copy of your natal chart, a copy of your draconic chart, which is your soul's chart, versus your chart for this lifetime. You're going to need those two charts because it's a workshop. You're going to be diving deep into your own personal natal chart. And so, because this is a pre-launch, I have a special one-time offer before I start really advertising and marketing this workshop out to the public. And so, because it's brand new, I wanted to start with this one-time offer for everybody. Okay, so the purpose of the workshop, there's three things. Number one is soul healing. Um, so it really is about connecting with your soul. That's soul2soul.ca. And it's about the evolution of your soul. And it's about connecting with your soul through really getting to know your ego. This is important, and this is what we're going to explore and help you to understand the difference between your ego self versus your soul self so you can have a clearer connection with your soul self. In that process, there's a lot of blind spots that will be exposed. There will be a lot of things that you will become conscious of, which means that there's going to be healing. And it's a process of healing that I believe that we all need to do. This is why we're here in this physical world, is to learn and to grow and to evolve. And in that requires us to heal. And healing really is just awakening to our own bullshit that's not working anymore, is holding us back, creating a resistance. And in order to create that inner alignment and personal alignment, we need to be able to heal and move past and dissolve what's no longer serving us through healing so we can connect greater to our soul. And so that is, on a nutshell, what soul healing is. Number two is intuition development. I want to help you through this workshop through uh, um, intuitive development circles where you will begin to understand your spiritual senses. We all have spiritual senses. It doesn't mean that you're meant to be a spiritual practitioner. It doesn't mean that you're meant to be a psychic or a tarot reader or a Reiki or a medium. It just means that you have an internal guidance system that is connected to your soul. You have a spiritual team who wants to work with you and guide you on your own individualized and personalized life path. And in order for them to guide you accurately, and in order for you to really connect with your soul, you need to understand your spiritual senses. You have to understand the difference between what's coming in from your spiritual senses of guidance, your gut feeling, often that you second guess, and then you realize, fuck, I should have listened to it, and your ego voice. Um, and so that's really, really important in helping us along our life path. And the third part is to discover your path through your natal chart, discovering your evolutionary purpose here. What is your purpose here? What is your path? You can see it in your natal chart, and I want to help you to discover that. Okay, so that's the purpose of this workshop. Um, this is basically what you're going to learn. This is the 8 weeks. So week one is going to be about spiritual ethics and order. I am huge on ethics, and I am greatly disturbed by some of the things that I've seen on social media with spiritual tools and people using spiritual tools. And I just pray that they are using the right um, procedures and protocols and ethics. When you begin to work and expand your spiritual senses, you will begin to feel a lot more, sense a lot more. You'll be a lot more sensitive, not only to your own self, but to other people. And it's very, very, very important to be ethical. You don't tune into people, you don't read people, you don't give people information, you don't try to receive information, you don't work with spiritual tools without understanding the protocols of how to open and close them properly, because the world of spirit is a world that I uh, it's beyond our capacity to understand the whole entire extent of it. And with that comes good, and with that comes bad. And we should not be ignorant to what we don't fully understand. And so we have to have ethics. We have to have order. So that's the where my starting point of my workshop. Then we'll get into the difference between ego versus soul, celestial energy, understanding what that is with the spiritual realm. We're going to look at modalities to help you progress within your chart. And this is something that I've discovered within my own chart. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys on, if you join me, hopefully you join me on this workshop to really know where you're getting stuck, know where you kind of fall off and you struggle to maintain longevity in your goals, where you can create some kind of surety of what you're doing when you feel like you're all over the place. It can all be discovered through the modalities within our chart and where we get stuck and where we can move forward. The next week will be energetic layers, where we'll look at the chakra system, the layers of the aura, and to really understand Kundalini energy, because this is another thing that I've had a very close and personal experience with the expansion of Kundalini energy. Um, and it can be very dangerous. And it's, again, we don't want to have ignorance when we begin to tap in and tune into our intuition and start healing and growing our spiritual senses. Because when we do heal, we do expand our senses. I feel like they correlate together. Through the healing process, you will become closer to your soul. That means that your spiritual senses will open and expand. And through that, um, you know, you don't want to be ignorant. You want to understand what are your spiritual senses, what are the mechanics and foundations behind it, and what is Kundalini energy. And I highly recommend not intentionally trying to ignite Kundalini energy, because it is extremely dangerous. It can be if you don't understand the process and you haven't. Well, it's not for everybody to open and expand, but we don't want to be ignorant. That's my main thing. You want to be educated. So that's that week. Then we move on to spiritual senses. That one's going to be fun. And then your soul's purpose, where We'll begin to look into your chart to locate your evolutionary path, what it is you're meant to do in this lifetime compared to your past lifetime, and finding your own personal intuitive connection within your chart. Yeah, that one's going to be fun too. And then the last week will be chart examples where we just have an open discussion, a Q&A. I'll pull up some charts from students within the workshop, and we'll just break things down and just create a greater understanding for you guys. What you're going to get is 8 weeks of the workshop. Oh, well, first of all, you'll get the manual. I jumped ahead. So my Mars is like, go. Um, so you will receive a workshop manual of all the content. You will have 8 weeks live with the workshop. I'm anticipating about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for the workshop. We'll see how it goes. Again, this is brand new. This is a pre-launch. Um, you will receive your own personal natal chart and your soul's draconic chart. Um, there are two different ones. Your soul draconic chart really shows your soul, everything about your soul, and then your natal chart is based on this lifetime. Um, you will receive weekly homework and worksheets for every single week. They're really fun, they're interactive, and I'm really excited for that. I have affirmation audios as a tool to help you. Each week you can listen to them. One is silent, one is waves, and it really does help recondition the subconscious mind um, with subliminal messages in embedding healthier affirmations into your subconscious that helps you in your healing journey. And we have a weekly intuitive development circle. So this is 2 days a week. One week is going to be the workshop, and the second week is going to be the intuitive development circle. Well, I will bring you into a meditation. We will open and expand and work on the spiritual senses. We will come together as a group and work on different exercises. It should be fun. It'll be interactive. And you will also be able to have lifetime access to all the content. When you complete the 8 weeks, you will be upgraded to a soul member of soul2soul.ca, where you will have lifetime access to the recordings, all the workshops, all the intuitive development circles, all the worksheets, all the homework, all the affirmation frames. They will all be there for you at your disposal to use, because we don't heal in 8 weeks. This is just an 8 weeks to get you started, to get you to create a greater understanding of yourself, your healing, your intuition, your soul, your path through your chart. You're going to understand your chart a lot better. So, as we move forward with these and I give horoscopes, you're going to know your rising sign. You're going to understand your placements, your housing, and things will start to make more sense. But it's for you to keep going. It's a continuous and never-ending journey. This journey doesn't end. It evolves. We evolve from lifetime to lifetime. So we don't even complete our purpose in one lifetime. And so when we know that, we could just slow down and take a breath and take a sip of coffee. Mhm. I do drink coffee this late at night. I do drink my water too. I have my water here, but I do drink my coffee this late at night and I can sleep like a baby. It's like immune in me. Okay, so this is a brand new program, Soul Attunement for inner and personal alignment with myself, guided with my team. I always have my team with me. I can feel them. You can't see them, you can't hear them, but I know they're here. They guide me, they instruct me. And so this is a one-time offer that I have, where I will be offering this 8 weeks, 2 nights a week with all this content grandfathered into the program with lifetime access for $97. I mean, it's a steal. But I also want to make sure that people have access to this content without such a high ticket price, because I think that is so unfair. Um, and I'm just going to be completely honest and transparent here. I look at a lot of programs that are out there to help people, and the price points are so outrageous that I think there's so many people that need help that need guidance. And yes, there is a money exchange because this is work. I am a spiritual practitioner. This is my work. I am a working medium. I am a working astrologer. I'm a working spiritual practitioner. That means I deserve to have payment in return for it. Um, but I don't believe in gouging. Um, and I give back more than I take for my own self. And I feel like content and tools and workshops and classes and courses um, that are like $1,500, $8,000, $2,500. I'm just like, how does the average person who might be really struggling right now afford that? And so this is a pre-launch price of $97. This is a one-time offer. I will not be offering this at $97 again, but it's not going to be going up that much more. The end price, what I will be selling this workshop for, will be $297. There'll be a slow, like the next, when I launch it, it'll be offered for $197 and then it will increase to $297. And my intention is to cap it there. I don't intend to go much higher than that. Yeah. Anyways, that is the price point for this one-time offer. And I also have a one-time offer in this pre-launch that will not be offered again in this workshop ever again. Is a free reading with myself after the workshop. There are two key things that have to happen. In order for you to receive this free one-to-one chart reading with me at the end, where I can really work with you on a personal basis, one-to-one, where we can dive in even deeper and you can ask me even more questions and I can get a lot more personal with you and really help you in discovering more about your chart that's going to help you to create that greater alignment within. Starting to burn. I get so excited over this part. Um, yeah, so in order to receive that one-to-one reading, I just ask that you submit a video testimonial of the workshop, how it worked for you, what you thought of it, the key points, how you loved it, and as well, you have to successfully complete the workshop. That means you got to show up. Change doesn't happen if you don't show up. I am going to be showing up for you twice a week throughout this workshop. You have to show up for you. You're not showing up for me. This isn't for me. I've already been through this process. You have to show up for you. So if you're willing to show up for you, if you have the courage, the bravery to show up for you through this workshop, 8 weeks, twice a week, that's going to completely change everything for you. Everything. And by submitting a 1 minute minimum testimonial, I will offer a one-to-one hour reading where I can help you dive down deep into your chart even further. Um, so that is the offer. I do want people to understand that you should have a basic understanding of astrology when you come into this workshop, meaning you should understand the zodiac and have a familiarity of the different planets. Like we have the luminaries, the sun, the moon, personal planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Then there's Saturn, Jupiter, and then we have the outer planets, which is Pluto and Uranus and Neptune. These all have a part to play in our life experience and the correlated and reflective energy. And then they orbit through the zodiac sign, which orbits through the 12th house system. And each house represents a different part of your life. And it's as above, so below. It's the relationship that the planets have in correlation with the zodiac in the experience of the houses that reflects in our life here. And so this is the basic understanding that you must have because I won't be teaching the basics in the workshop. Um, and so just a basic understanding. If you don't have a basic understanding, you can go to soul2soul.ca, go to the blog section, and I've got the basics there for you. What I've done is all the content that I have in the blog section on my website are my personal notes, my Virgo, stellium, obsessive data notes that I took through hours and hours and hours of learning and watching video content on each planet and each zodiac and the housing system and how to read a chart and how to put it all together and how to understand it. And I've documented in point form I don't I like facts. I like the data. I like get to the point. And that's what it is. It's all in point form. So you can go to soul2soul.ca. You can learn the basics, get a feel for your chart. Just look at it, pull up your chart, look at it, see how there's 12 houses, see how there's little symbols of planets, and then you can see the zodiac sign and just make sense that the planets orbit around the zodiac and they go through the houses. Um, and that is the basics for now. I don't teach astrology. There is incredible people online who teach astrology that you can go to. But my place within astrology is to help people understand the healing journey and create a more clearer direction and of their path and purpose. At the same time, healing to connect with your soul self to receive that guidance as well. So you're receiving the guidance from spirit, you're receiving the guidance from your soul self, expanding your intuition through the healing process, but you're also looking at your chart that is phenomenally accurate. You cannot deny astrology when you understand it. You have a chart in front of you that is a roadmap, your own individualized, personal, unique life path that nobody else has. Stay in your lane. It's right there for you. And I want to show you how to utilize it in a really profound way to help you. So one-time offer, $97, only 10 spots available. This is the only time you'll get it at this price. This is the only time I'm offering a free one-to-one reading at the end of it. And yeah, I hope you join me. You from this page, you have to accept the rules. I am very high on ethics. I am very, very, very strict in the sense that I'm not taking no bullshit. I don't accept criticism, judgment. Or any of the alike within my community, within my workshop. Um, we have to be open-minded and we have to be kind to other people. There are rules. And so if you click on the button that says click here, it's going to bring you to the rules and the registration. Royal Coat of Arms. This is, I actually created that. I have Venus at 21 degrees of Virgo in the 12th house. And within the Sabian symbols, you go up by 1 degree. So Virgo 22 degrees is the Sabian symbol of the spiritual office, Royal Coat of Arms. And this is the crest that I have made for that. And I just really feel it in my soul. I know I have an ancestral team with me. There's 6 to 8 of them that stand behind me. Um, I know they're there. I've had multiple mediums see them there. And I know that my gifts are not new in this lifetime. They stem from my past lifetime. This is a continuation for me. I feel like I've done this before. I know I've done this before, but I wasn't able to come out with it. I also know that my gifts are generational. They're ancestral. They stem from my mother, my grandmother, and so on and so on and so on. And they're all with me, and I can feel them, and I'm getting a little choked up here a little bit. So yes, this is very important for me. Is the ethics, is the order, is the um, just play nice. Don't be just be nice and be kind. But for us to do that, we have to do that with ourselves first. So this is what the program's about. So. You can scan through here. We've got the ethics, we got the spiritual rules, the community rules, and at the very bottom, this is where you can register and make your payment. And then you will receive an email from me as well with more details, more content, and there will also be a group. Um, there will be a group on Instagram that I will be creating for us to communicate throughout the workshop, even in between during the week. If you have any questions on the homework, there will be a safe space where we can continue the conversation and the communication. Okay, let me move on. I'm gonna stop sharing that right now to see. Okay, I'm gonna check. Got no one in the chat here. That's okay, I don't think. Um, I may have to refresh. Let me just check my stream and make sure I'm good before I get going and move forward. Fresh. Oh, am I live? Oops. Oh, it says good. Okay. Oh, it says that I'm still good. Good to go. Okay, beautiful. No comments. Okay, let me move on now. All right, so let me just check here. I'm going to pull up the chart. I'm going to share again. And I'm going to pull up this new moon chart and share. Here we are. Okay. So April 17th, that's tomorrow. April 17th. Sorry, let me just move this stuff over. Let me get myself situated and organized here. I feel really like, if I'm not organized, I feel like a hot mess. Okay, here. Let me double check, make sure that we're all good. On the audio, you can hear me, you can hear me. This is live, so it's a little bit different. Let me, yeah, everything's good. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we have tomorrow, April 17th, again at 7:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have the peak of the new moon, and you can see that right here. Let me just pull this down just to make sure that oh, I'm a little bit overlapping, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, right here, if you can see with my cursor, we have the new moon at 27 degrees Aries. Um, this I'm going to be talking about this new moon is conjunct Chiron. So if you look at the symbol that's right next to it, it's got a K with a little zero at the bottom, or O, circle at the bottom, K with a O, K with a circle at the bottom. That is representative of Chiron. I'm going to talk as if I've got like total beginners here with me. But there's a conjunction with this new moon with Chiron, and this is huge. This is representation of healing, um, and being really aware of healing that is needed, that has been your greatest power, but also your greatest enemy. Um, it is a repeated lesson that uh, is constantly coming at you in order for you to awaken to heal and to move forward. This is Chiron. And so Chiron's pain can be the elixir, but it can also be um, the the poison. It is what you internally, the pain that is internally, that caused internally, but also that can be transformed in a new creative way with power, um, in order to propel you forward and to move past it. And so with the new moon, this is like so powerful because we have the ability in being conscious of this conjunction to really set some powerful intentions in being aware of that pain that comes from Chiron in the Aries part of your chart. And this is where you really want to know your rising sign to know what house this is for you. I'm going to do horoscope, so I'll run through it for you. But if you don't know your rising sign, then you're not going to know what house this is for you. But in that part of your life, what is it that has been a continual battle, a repeated lesson over and over again that's caused you pain, but then has also been able to help you in your growth, that really needs to make some concrete changes now with this new moon, especially with all these planets here. Um, I want to talk about the deacons when I talk about this new moon, because there's so much planets that we have here in Aries. And primarily right now, we have four planets in the first decan. This is Saturn, Neptune, Mars, and Mercury, all within the first decan of Aries. They are going to be orbiting and moving into that second decan of Aries. But we have the new moon where we are planting a seed with Chiron in the last decan, the third decan of Aries. So I want to talk about what each decan represents in correlation with the planets that are currently in orbit in those decans. Um, I'm going to start with the third decan because this is the new moons and Chiron there. So I want to talk about the new moon and the third decan and what this really means for us as we co-create in setting intentions and planting that seed in the Aries part of our chart. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about the first decan because this is where we've got Saturn and Neptune and Mars and Mercury. And Mars is the host of this new moon being in Aries. The ruler of the zodiac sign is Mars. So Mars would be the host uh, of this new moon. And so we need to talk about that. We need to talk about the first decan because we've got Saturn there. Um, and Neptune, and Saturn's going to be there for about 2.5 years. Neptune's there for what, 13, 14 years. And then Mercury is just going to fly by and create some interesting communication within these planets in the Aries part of your chart. And so we definitely need to talk about the first decan. And then I'm also going to talk about decan two because these planets will be moving and orbiting into the second decan. So it paints a picture. The zodiac really is a continual story, an unfolding story of our lives as the planets move through the zodiac. There is a transition between each zodiac sign and Aries being the starting point. It's the baby, it's new, it's fresh, it's igniting, it's powerful, it's driven, it's courageous enough and driven enough with bravery because it just has this instinctual intuitive nature about it where it just has this idea and just wants to go. It doesn't think about the process. That's the problem. It just goes. And then and it moves we move into Taurus energy in the zodiac, where things become more grounded, more stabilized. So that idea, that vision that we have, that we are creating in the Aries part of our chart, is then going to move into the Taurus part where it can create some stability, some stable earthly groundedness to the igniting the creation that we are working with in the Aries part of our chart. And then it moves into Gemini and then to Cancer. And then as you can see, it's an unfolding story. So we are at a critical time here, I feel like, with Aries, with all these planets here, especially with outer planets. Pluto's already into Aquarius, but we have Uranus that is now going to be moving into Gemini, and Saturn and Neptune just recently moved into Aries as well. So this is a lot of new energy happening for all of us on an individualized basis. Individualized. Aries is individualization. It is the baby. It is the me uh, starting by itself, getting out there and going. Um, but it does also include other people, and this is why I want to talk about the decans. Okay, so we're going to start with the third decan, and I want to show the tarot because I love how fitting it is. So, um, okay, the third decan. Um, I'm like, do I want to share this now? Or I'm going to share it at the end. I'm not going to share it now. I don't want to confuse it. I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm going to show it at the end. Okay, so Aries Decan 3 is where this new moon and Chiron's at. And so Decan 3, when we look at Decan 3, it is ruled, Decan 3 is ruled by Venus, right? So this is an energy between, I'm not going to get into extensive information about the decans. This is just a very general basis. There's a lot more that you can go on your own and learn about these decans. I encourage you to because the deacons are so critical in understanding astrology and really understanding a deeper level of the personality and the character that comes through that energy of that aspect of that zodiac sign. And so the third deacon, as you can see here, you see this Venus symbol here. It's the energy of Venus and Mars in the third deacon of Aries. And so it's very relational. And so whatever planting of seeds that we're doing right now with Chiron that requires some kind of healing within um, the Aries part of your chart is a creative force that is most likely including other people. Um, it is a creative force of something that is new and relational because of Venus being the ruler of this decan. So with Venus and Mars, this is a connection, this is a relation, um, and it is because this Venus is of love and of the heart, um, the intentions that we set in Aries for this new moon um, should be true to the heart. Um, it should be based on bravery with Mars there, but also connected to the heart. And take the time to really think about the Aries part of your chart and who else would play a role with you in that topic of life for you. I mean, for me, this is my seventh house, so you can clearly see how other people are involved with me in the intentions that I need to set in the seventh house for me. And with this, because it's relational, there's boundaries that need to be set. Um, and I think it's very important to understand that selfishness is a virtue. Um, Selfishness can also get out of hand, but selfishness really is a virtue. And I want you to see it like that as you're thinking about the intentions that you want to set with this new moon and the boundaries that you need to set that are healthy in regards to your healing in the Aries part of your chart with other people. Um, and um, where is it that you need to take care of you? And when we set boundaries, we are saying that I matter. And this is about you. This is the individualized experience. Aries, just you by itself, acting, going. But now it's got to include other people. Remember, after Aries, we're moving into Taurus energy, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So then we're moving into, you can see that blending of energy where it's like the third decan ruled by Venus and connected with Mars being the ruler of Aries. This is relational. So where is it that you need to say that I matter and I need to put a boundary around with certain people that is healthy? Um, and that is saying that because I matter, you matter too, and I can make space for both. I think that's important in the relational um, aspect is making space for both. And I think what's really important too in understanding the third deacon and setting intentions here with healing and relational and boundaries is that everyone's going to have their opinion, and opinions only matter if you add value to other people's opinions. Otherwise, what I really want to say is fuck other people's opinions. You do what feels right for you. You do what you feel is healthy for you because other people's opinions don't fucking matter. I'm sorry, but that's what I really want to say. But I'm trying to be like discernment and, you know, but this is Aries energy. This is Mars. And I got to come real and just say that there may be certain intentions and certain things and certain manifestations happening with other people in the Aries part of your chart, things that you need to move past, things that you need to do that may trigger other people, may bother other people, and they may come at you in a certain way, and it may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but this is where you need to be strong and be brave and be courageous enough to set a boundary and say, no, I matter. I'm setting a boundary, and I'm going to be selfish enough to nurture my own self as I set these intentions to move forward in the Aries part of my chart. And when we do that, we have to understand that other people are entitled to their opinion and our actions might bother another person, but that's not your problem. That's the other person's problem. And this is where the healing comes in, and it has a big part to play. As you can see, as we look at astrology and we look at our own selves and we become more conscious, and then we're like, holy shit. And then we're like, I need to heal. And, so, but the beautiful part is with each new moon, we can tap in and tune into that nurturing energy, that intuitive energy, and we can co-create with it. And in that, we evolve and we feel better, we do better. So this is the third deacon. Um, the third deacon is, again, like I said, it's relational. In it, uh, it's important to stay true to yourself, and there could be um, aspects where criticism comes up and people might be triggered. And this is also because if you look at these other little symbols down here, the new moon and the third deacon is it's going to be bound by either Mars or Saturn. This new moon is bound by Saturn. So there's a constriction. And there could face a criticism and a judgment with other people because of the bounds that it's in, and it's also relational. And so just be mindful of that. Okay, let me move forward. I feel like I'm rambling now. Okay, so I want to move forward now to Deacon 1 of where these other planets are in Aries. We've got Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and Mars, as I said. And this really is the first deacon is the very, very beginning. It's like ushering something new into being, into creation. This is the activation point, the starting point. This is the instinctual, intuitive hit that comes that's just like, I got to do this. I know I got to do this. Um, and um, with all these planets here, whatever it is that we have to do, we really got to slow down and try not to act too fast. And thankfully, we have Saturn here that is helping us to do that. Saturn, I see this. I mean, I've been listening to so many different astrologers talk about these transits because this really is a big deal for all of us. Um, and my perspective of it, I mean, with astrology, there's always two sides to a coin, right? There's these are malefics. This is Saturn and Mars, and in an Aries sign that's Mars ruled. This could go south, but this also could go in such an incredible way as well. And that's astrology. It could go either way. It depends on your relationship with the planets and your place of evolution. Um, but with Saturn here in the first house, in the first decan, with the first deacon being that starting point of creation, of activation, where that Aries energy would normally just be like, go, and then be like, oh, fuck, and fuck shit up because it's just instinctual. It's just going, it's just acting based on instinct, based on the intuitive hit that it's getting. What we have Saturn here to be like, no, slow down. Let's create a container. Let's create some structure. Let's create some stability. Let's ground ourselves. Let's not be too haste. And then we have Neptune also that could also overflow and with Aries energy be like this tsunami that's just like, whoa. We have Saturn helping to put a container around that, but we also have Neptune there to help us dissolve what's no longer working. Remember, these planets are constantly going around the zodiac. So this isn't the first time you've been experiencing Aries energy. We experience every single zodiac in our lifetime, each of us individually. We're not just our sun sign. We're not just the planets that are within whatever houses. We experience every single part of the zodiac by way of reflective energy through our experience, as above, so below. And so there's aspects in the Aries part of your chart that may have in the past been a little um, overflowing, a little bit delusional, a little bit idealistic, a little bit um, completely expansive with no bounds. Um, and this could be an opportunity for us to now dissolve and become aware of that, awaken to that, become more conscious of that, where we can dissolve what's no longer working. Um, and we've got Mars in this first deacon as we speak, and it's with Mercury. So this is and Sat this just this whole lineup in Aries. It's a lot of communication that is taking place that needs some greater structure and containment for a creative process to really flow in a healthy way with boundaries and with a little bit more stability. Um, I feel like this has been like a long time coming, and now is the time to really make this change for each of us in a different way. And so this is why we really need to take a look at this first deacon, because when we set our intentions with this new moon, and the moon's going to be moving into Taurus, when we set the intentions here, that is of a relational basis, we also want to take a look at what we're experiencing, what we're feeling right now in regards to all these planets in the first decan. What do you feel is being activated within you? What do you feel that you're being propelled forward, but you're like feeling a little contained and you're like really need to create some structure around? You really need to work through it. Um, it's going to help you to really solidify the intentions that you're making with this new moon, and understand the energy that we're all experiencing right now. I want to talk about the second decan because all of these planets, Saturn, Neptune, Mars, and Mercury, are going to be moving into the second decan, and then they're going to move into the third decan again. So these planets are all going to be passing over this new moon point. So I feel like the intentions that we're setting here are going to be reactivated as the planets start moving through this 27th degree as well, leading up to the anaretic degree of Aries. And so with deacon number two, it's a little bit more hopeful. It's ruled by the sun. And so there is a vitality here with the sun shining on the second decan. It's supported by the sun. The sun supports us. It doesn't go retrograde. It is rises every single morning. You can count on the sun. Um, and it's kind of what is being created in the first decan with all these planets here, what's being activated, what's being structured, what's being dissolved, is then going to move into a space where it can shine a bit. It can be seen. It will rise up. And this is where the Aries energy is not as fast, and where you need to kind of pull back a bit. Um, Things are highlighted, but now you have an opportunity to kind of see what's shining, to take a look and take advantage of seeing what's coming back to you based on that. And then the energy moves into the third decan, where it includes other people, and it becomes a little bit more relational, but where there could be a little scrutiny and a little bit of objective and opposing perspectives from the outside looking in. And so these are the three decans of Aries, and you can see how the planets are moving through, and I hope that made sense. I want to talk about and show you the tarot that's associated with all three. So we look at decan number one, which is represented by the Two of Wands, and decan number one is setting that intention. What are you putting out to the world? What are you passionate about? This is the Wands, that you are going to create a structure that is intuitive, instinctual. You know you need to do it. And then you move into decan number two, which is the Three of Wands, where you've there's some light now. You can see the sun is shining in the background. It's all yellow. There's the vitality. And he just stands there on solid ground. He planted a seed. He put it out there. He set his creation. And now he's seeing what's going to come back to him. And then the third decan is the Four of Wands, where there's celebration, where there is a relational matter. It's not just you, it's with other people. This isn't the final result. This is just a celebration of the vitality of what's come back. And so when you look at these the tarot, you look at the deacons, and then you see that we have an opportunity right now and all these planets there where we are like activating something, and right now we can start planting our seeds of intention of what's happening, what's been happening, because Saturn and Neptune already moved it. They've been in Aries for I can't remember the day that they came in, but they've been there for a few weeks now, I believe, or a week. I can't even remember the exact date. But my point is, they didn't just move in today. So what's been happening in the Aries part of your chart, that with the activation that you're planting, that we are setting an intention with today? Yeah, I'm going to move on. That is my astrology talk. And I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to move on, and I'm going to talk about the numerology of number one, the intentions, 5 intentions I have, and then I will move on to some horoscopes. I've been going for about an hour now. So we're going to quickly go through this. Let me just share screen again and pull up the other one. Oh, I don't want it to overlap, so I'm going to do it like this. Oh, wait, hold on one moment. Uno momento. I need to fix this. There we go. Let me close that. Back here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. There we go. Okay, so the new moon in Aries. Okay, the seeding point. The numerology number one. Again, Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. It is the first sign of the zodiac, which is fitting with number one of numerology. And when we look at the number one of numerology, number one represents the physical world, us here in form, in physical form. It is the number of divine expression. It is the divinity that is within us, within our soul, that is expressed through our physical body in physical form to create and fulfill our soul's purpose here. It is the self-expression and how we communicate and how we interact with other people. Aries is very social. Anybody that I know, I have so many Aries that have been prominent people in my life. And I have to say, they are the most social people. They are the funnest, most physically present people that I've ever met in my life. I love the social aspect, the physical aspect, the expressive aspect, the communicative aspect of Aries. And it's so fitting with the number one and what the number one represents. It is the expression of the ego. The ego is our physical form here. We need the ego to be able to function within the brain. The brain needs the ego. We never want to get rid of the ego. We need to understand the ego and ensure that the ego doesn't overstep in connecting with soul content, right? So number one is not about, it is the expression of our soul through the ego. And we have to understand the difference between that. Um, it is the relationship to the outside world, and the reactive response that we have to other people and circumstances. It is the degree of self-control that we have or the lack of. And this is so fitting with Aries energy because Aries energy can really get out of control because Aries doesn't think first, because Aries is ruled by Mars and Mars just takes action. And so there's the thinking process, there can be a lack of, and things can just go. And so that's where we lose control. And it's not to say that an Aries person or someone that has Mars, like myself, in your first house, which is your physical self, cannot have control. It's just being consciously aware of that so you can then take conscious action and steps and precautions to slow yourself down to gain that control. But that is all under the experience and expression of number one. And it is the foundation of our personality. Um, when we see the number one in repeated messages, whether it's on your phone and people see 1111 or 11 or two ones all the time, you will know that it is an expression of your physical self. It is the expression of your ego. It is the expression of the way that you're expressing yourself or the way that you're communicating with other people. When we look at number one in a numerology birth chart, the more number ones that a person has within their numerological chart, the more comfortable they are in physical form and expression with other people and communicating. The less ones you have, the less comfortable you are. Um, and so just to get to know what the number one means a little bit more, because I really want people to stop going to Google to figure out what all these angel numbers mean and numerology is. Numbers are the basis of life. Um, Numbers are key to everything. And there is a standard understanding of what each number represents. And once you know that, it's just, like I said, it's a matter of paying attention to what you're thinking in the moment that you see these repeated numbers. Every time you see 111, what you're doing in that moment, what you were saying in that moment, what you were feeling in that moment, what were you physically doing in that moment? And then correlate that with your intuitive senses um, to make sense of what that means for you individually. Um, I'll use for an example because it's different for everybody, right? We all have our own experiences, we all have our own guidance team. And when your soul self and your spiritual team are trying to communicate to you through numbers, through synchronicities of numbers, um, what 111 means for one person is going to mean something completely different for the next person. Although at the end of the day, number one still means physical form, physical expression, communicative expression out here that is wrapped around your ego and how you interact with other people. It's still different for each individual person. That's why it's important to just tune into your own self. So, this is what I really wanted to share about the number one in numerology, which is so fitting for where we are now with this new moon in Aries. Okay, um, five intentions that I have for this Aries new moon. Number one is to think about what creative force is at play here for you. I want to encourage you to write down these intentions and really take some time to contemplate this for your own self as I go through the horoscopes. And you hear about the different topics of what topic that will be for you, depending on what house that is for you. So, what creative force is at play? What creative force has been kind of at play the last little while? And actually, it stems from 2025. I think it was March or April that Saturn and Neptune dipped into Aries and then they retrograded back into Pisces. And then now they're back into Aries to start. And so, March, April 2025, I think it was 2025, there would have been um, April, May, it was around then. Um, that's when you would have really started to experience this energy. And then it came back again when these planets came in just not too long ago. So, what creative forces is at play? Um, and what creative force is it that you are creating? What seed of intention are you planting that is of a new individualized um, expression for you in the Aries part of your chart. And know that that is creation. Creation is intention. Creation is that physical expression of acting and doing, of thinking, of contemplating, of putting together, of having that intuitive idea, that instinct that you can just move forward with in a creative way. You are creating something new. This is a new energy that's being created, um, that is coming out with force. And what is that for you? And then set an intention to really solidify that creative force. Number two is to trust your instinctual intuition as an intention. Intend to trust it. Intend to trust when you want to act in that part of your chart and you haven't thought first. And move to number three and intend to slow down. In the Aries part of your chart, wherever it is that you tend to move too fast, um, you need to be more consciously aware of those moments and then to slow down. So it's an intention of catching it in the moment and an intention of slowing down in that same moment as well. And then coming back to that creative force and replaying the steps that you need to take before you take that action again. Number four is to create the plan for longevity. The thing is with the Aries energy, it's cardinal energy. And so there's no lasting power. So with Aries energy, it's go, instinct, instinctual, take action, creative energy, burst, flow. But then it's like, oh, die. It goes really fast, but it doesn't have the longevity. And so, how do we correct that? Create a plan. Create a plan of action. Um, I have in the called angle part of the charts. My first house is Libra. My seventh house is Aries. All of my angled houses are cardinal energy. And my whole life, I feel like I'm just going so fast and I constantly need to slow down. And so, what I've learned through living out that real cardinal energy is that there has to be a plan. And if you have a plan in action and you know that you have the tendency to move too fast and things die out, then you can take more conscious steps to be instinctually aware, trusting it in the moment, to slow down and then reprocess, come back to your plan and continue to take those steps. Consciousness is everything. And set the intention to have courage to stay true to your plan, to be brave in the actions, and to be conscious enough to simmer down and slow down in that part of your chart. All right, so those are my 5 intentions for you. I'm going to stop sharing again, and then I'm going to come back again. I don't know if I need to keep going back and forth, but this is what I'm doing. This is my process. I'm going to come back to the chart here because I want to go through the horoscopes. Um, I'm just going to briefly go through each house and provide rising sign horoscopes for everybody. Um, Let me swing back here and we got to get to Aries rising here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start with Aries rising. With Aries rising, this new moon and this whole stellium of planets in Aries is in your first house. So this is really this creative force, this new beginning, this structure, the dissolving is really a personal thing for you. It's part of your identity and really like part of your identity being in the first house. I mean, Aries in itself is the individualized person. It is about your own identity, the I, the no, I mean, Leo is the I, but it's the baby of the zodiac. So it's really they say it's a selfish part of the zodiac, Aries. Um, and when I say selfish, the Aries that I know, they're not consciously and intentionally selfish. They are just so fast and so instinctual that they come off as selfish. And so this is a real wake-up call, I feel, for Aries risings to really set and become aware of where you may be spilling over and need to have some self-control in and structure and containment within your own self, that is going to not only benefit you, but benefit your relationship with other people, as you move forward. So this is for Aries risings. Taurus rising, this is happening in your 12th house. Blessings to you, Taurus risings, right now. The 12th house is not easy. And with this stellium, I live this energy every single day of my life. Um, this is a real opportunity for you to heal, for you to awaken to the self-undoing. I mean, the 12th house, it's, they say it's a self-undoing, and it really is a place of suffering. It's a place of hardship. It's a place of the collective unconscious, spirit. It's a house of addiction. And we can really have hard lessons here, have hard lessons, um, that force you to take a hard look at yourself. um, there can be incredible loss. There can be loss of loved ones, um, just losing things, constantly losing people leaving your life, things leaving your life. The 12th house is where you can experience cruelty from other people, abusive behavior. Um, you can experience endings, things that had so much meaning in your life that just start ending. Like there's absolutely no meaning anymore. And then that turns into this self-sabotage and this inward battle where you could easily fall into depression, anxiety, and then you use addictive behaviors and coping mechanisms to be able to deal with it. And so it's very destructive. And so for my Taurus risings, it's very important to be mindful, to practice solitude and meditation and consciousness, and be kind to yourself in this process, and really start to take the time to be with you. Take the time to slow down and to be conscious and to create some, um, I would say, a daily spiritual practice. I'm spending a little bit more time on this one because it's 12th house. Um, Creating a structured spiritual practice that you can keep and be diligent on every single day in order to um, provide that comfort and that a space where you can just fuel yourself to be able to get past this energy. Um, a meditative practice, a prayer practice, anything that makes you feel good. If you need to go for a walk in nature every day, that to me is a spiritual practice. Go walk by the lake and take in all the elements and just ground yourself. Grounding is very important in the 12th house. This is fast energy. This is powerful energy. This is dynamic Aries energy in a mutable, watery Pisces undercurrent of collective unconscious. It's very overwhelming. I feel like there's this huge tsunami that's happening for you guys right now. And all I can say is you're going to get through it because these planets are going to transit out of your 12th house. If you have 12th house placements, you're learning to heal. Absolutely. Gemini rising, this new moon is happening for you with Chiron and healing again in your 11th house. This is new beginnings, new sheddings, creating that concrete structure and dissolving what no longer works for you to really plant some seeds that are going to include other people in regards to your the people in your lives, the alliances, the groups, your friends, on a social basis. This is where your hopes and your aspirations are, and dissolving maybe what's on a relational level, what wasn't working before, and creating some new structure, some new boundaries in regards to your friends, in regards to certain alliances in your life. Okay, Cancer rising. This is happening in your 10th house, which is your house of your public image, of your career, and there are changes happening here. There is structures that need to be put into place in regards to how you're seen and the work that you do. Um, and there's a forward motion and movement that is going to really take you to higher limits. But it's almost like I want to say shooting yourself in the foot um, and learning to um, trust what you instinctively know needs to be changed within that realm of career, within your public image, and what you're meant to do. What is the individualized purpose that you're meant to do to shine here in this world? There's right now, you're being asked and called upon to really be brave and take action on what you know you need to do, what that instinct, what that intuitive hits that you've been receiving and trying to put together, but maybe have been scared of. Now is the time to move forward with it. Okay, moving on to Leo risings. This is like a restructuring, I want to say, of your belief systems, of um and gaining a higher wisdom and being more conscious of your philosophies and reshaping your philosophies, creating um a new foundation and forward movement um in such a new way that is um I want to even say like going against what once was so important for you as a belief system that is being shed and kind of peeled away like an onion, that something new is being birthed, something new is being creative, a new belief system that you haven't really seen before. There's this new instinctual in it, in I don't know, I just feel like there's this drive to really it's like the pain and the elixir of the Chiron, where the pain is being dissolved and there's this new elixir, there's this new um, awareness um, of divinity, of creation that is being structured, that is going to help you to see higher limits, to receive higher knowledge, and to go to higher realms in a completely new way. Okay. Virgo rising, eighth house. All right. This definitely is involving other people. And you really want to be mindful of this with this new moon, especially with Chiron there and with some healing. Um, the eighth house is it's a little swampy, and with Aries here, and with Mars, and with Neptune, and all these planets here, it's just like this new contract, like a releasing of old contact contracts and creating a new structure around the resources and dissolving what wasn't working in regards to certain resources with people and creating a new structure around new resources that's going to help you to really it's like forming a new boundary in a relational way that um, was once really I want to say hindering your progression, your transformation. This is a death and rebirth. And so there's a lot of like I want to say restructuring in regards to your resources, in regards to how you move forward with certain contracts, in regards to intimacy, into regards to a relational basis with other people. And just creating new form, creating new and healthier ways of um, going about forming those resources with other people. Um, yeah, yeah, a real transformation, big time for Virgo risings. Li Libra risings, my people. This one is your seventh house. So this really is, I want to say, placing boundaries and restructuring how you interact with other people and how you allow people in on a one-on-one basis, the relationship that you have on a one-on-one interpersonal relationship. And I want to say um, it's with self um, as well as with other people. Because with interpersonal, it's a flow of energy. And with the Aries energy here, there can be a real, again, it's instinctual and it's intuitive and it acts really fast. And in that process, it can be very selfish. And I feel like that can be a hindrance on the relational, the interpersonal dynamic where the Libra rising native can um, have a tendency to um, not use that selfishness as a virtue and use that selfishness in a negative way where it's making a hindrance. So there's this dissolving in the way that you are approaching your relationships to include other people and to dissolve what's no longer work with more healthy boundaries. And not only for your own self, but of how people come into your life on a one-on basis and what they are asking of you in that interpersonal relationship. So it's a give and take back and forth. Okay, Scorpio risings. This would be for your sixth house. And the sixth house, oh, it's a really challenging house as well. I mean, the 12th house is mental health, and then the sixth house is like physical health. But this really is, I feel like, also a restructuring of your daily habits. They contribute to your physical health, that also contribute to how you do your work, right? This is the house of your work, of daily habits, of physical health, of like illness. And it's a restructuring that's going to help on every level. So when you're setting your intentions, it's repeated. There's like a repeated pattern in regards to your habits that need to take a solid look at and have some new intentions where you slow down and really process, where am I going wrong? What do I need to correct on a day-to-day basis that's going to not only help me moving forward with my career and my goals and my dreams and my daily activities, but is also going to make me strong enough, physically strong enough, in a healthy way to have the vitality to and the energy to move forward with my goals. Um, this is Aries energy in the sixth house, and this is Virgo at its core energy. So this is very detailed and diligent energy of looking at your habits. So this Aries energy and this new moon is, I really encourage you, Scorpio risings, to really slow down in your habits, in your daily work, and just reassess what's going on, reassess where it needs to have some structure, and reassess what's not working for you physically, mentally, within your habits, and that may be affecting you within your workspace as well. Sagittarius rising, this is happening for you, this new moon and stellium in your fifth house. And this really is like a recreative process of what you're here to do. The fifth house is the house of creation, is the house of birthing something creative, something that comes within you. It's the house of children, it's the house of sex that creates children. So we look at this creative process and this new moon being in the creative deacon of Aries, where you are asked to create something new and you're creating with the moon, you're co-creating, you're setting your intentions. But it's something that's something within you needs to be created, needs to be birthed. Um, you could very well be, could be children too, depending what's going on with you individually within your life. But there is a new structure and a new um, um, foundation that is being set for you in the Aries part of your chart in this fifth house that is of a creative nature, that is going to um, just take you to new creative limits. Um, and it's, I want to say, if you if you're not going to really co-create and create that solid foundation, Mars can really disrupt this house as well. Even though it's the fifth house, I want to say disrupt it in a way that um, if you go against and you go too fast and you crash and burn what you need to be creating that solid foundation on it. And Saturn's here to help us, but it's we really want to be conscious, right? So this new moon is about consciously setting intentions and seedings, but not using that pain and elixir. Remember Chiron's with this new moon. So that's why I say um, it could also backfire in the creative process if we are not being conscious in the co-creation process to really have the courage and bravery to recreate what needs to be recreated within this house because it's going to bring you joy. This is the house of pleasure. This is the house of joy. But that creative process needs to happen. When we look at the fifth house, it's of children and that creative process of sex to have create children. Something new is being birthed. The birthing process is ugly. And I feel like in that process of creating something new to bring joy into this world, it can be a bit ugly. And so we really want to be mindful of having the courage and bravery and to slow down and to really be mindful of the co-creation process and the intentions that you're setting for yourself in this new moon. Capricorn risings, we have this new moon and stellium for you in the fourth house. This is really creating a lot of changes for you in your foundations of home. It could be property, a lot of changes happening in property. Um, and um, a healing, that needs to take place in regards to family, in regards to breaking cycles, in regards to working through what's been causing you pain repeatedly so you can finally move forward and break a cycle, plant a new seed, co-create something new for yourself, create a new structure within your family, dissolve what's no longer working, breaking that cycle again. The fourth house is can be a really challenging house as well. And this is because of the healing aspects. So when we look at family and foundation, we also look at childhood wounds, we look at trauma, and these topics as well can come up within the fourth house. And when we see Chiron there, with healing of repeated lessons that keep coming over and over again, we have to be mindful of the cycles that could stem from family, from childhood, core wounds that need to be looked at and really tune in with some solitude to plant new seeds of healing for yourself. Okay. Aquarius rising. This is happening for you in your third house. And with the third house, this is a lot going on within your community, a lot of communication, a lot of activity in your day to day with your friends, with your neighbors, with your siblings, a lot of just a lot of communication. This can be just restructuring how you are and how you represent yourself and your individualized part to play in your community, planting a seed for new beginnings in aspect of that, of how you interact with other people and the relationships that you have with other people, and what needs to be healed and worked through to work to your benefit instead of your disadvantage in regards to your communication with other people, and dissolving what no longer works. So we got Mercury here, um, also in your third house with Mars. So Mercury and Mars together is like fast information and words that come out that, and especially in Aries that don't think first, and just come out, and then it's like grabbing it back and coming back. So be mindful of that with this new moon and the stellium, especially with Mercury and Mars. I mean, this works, it goes for everybody, just with Mars being with Mercury. It's fast communication and communication that's coming out, but especially being in your third house, it will be a little bit more prominent for you. Oh. Pisces rising. I went too far. Okay, and the last one is Pisces rising. This one for you guys is your second house. So this really is the second house, it's a finances, it's how you make your money, it's your possessions, your material items and that you have. But I want to say it's more so of value. And yes, value in regards to finances and possessions and material things that you have, but more so value within self. Um, the second house, especially with Chiron here, this is how you're valued. How do you value your own self? And how is that value work within your relationships? Um, what triggers your values? What sets your values off? How do your values play a role in your finances and how you make your money and that relationship together. And where do you need change? Where do you need to be more trusting? Where do you need to have more boundaries and have a more solid foundation and understanding of your value system? What is your value system? Slow down and really try to process that and plant new seeds of intentions that are going to um, ignite and allow growth and expansion of healthy values that's going to contribute to your work and how you make your money, but more so that value that you have within. Because when we nurture that value within, it exudes out towards our lives and makes a difference in everything else that we place value on within our lives. So that is the horoscopes that I have for you. I'm fairly new to doing horoscopes, but I like to go around and around the zodiac and do them because it really does help me to expand myself as an astrologer as well. And so that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this live. I've been here for an hour and 45 minutes. It's been quite long. But happy new moon. I wish you an abundance of blessings and just incredible new beginnings. I intend that you really move forward in a courageous way. Courage is the energy that we need in order to make changes in our life. It starts with courage. It starts with Aries. It starts with the first part of the zodiac. It starts with number one. It starts with you to show up for your own self. And I hope to see you on the Soul Attunement Workshop. If you want to register for that, it is open for you to register. And yeah.